5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Laaleen.
Hi.
How are you?
Great.
Wait, am I pronouncing your name right?
Uh-huh.
Laaleen or Laaleen? Because it's a double A.
So the double A was added, so nobody would say Laaleen or Laaleen. So it's Laaleen.
Okay.
Thanks.
And then your last name is Sukhera.
Sukhera?
Sukhera.
Yeah,
Wait.
Sukhera. No,
Yeah.
it's not a kha, it's a ka. I know how to say kha.
Yeah, I know.
but
We
it's not a kha.
have to
I'm
clear
not-
this.
I'm not Arab.
You're not Arab?
I'm not Arab.
Zero.
My name
Absolutely
is
not.
My name is Arabic, Laaleen, but most Arabs won't know my name either.
What's your
My-
ethnicity?
Pakistani.
Really?
1,000%.
100%. Okay, so I need to fix a lot of things here. I don't
It's
know.
fine.
So I kept
What's the big deal?
There's no big deal, but we kept talking on on messages.
I understood you.
Yeah, how do you understand me?
I know sah and I know.
Yeah, and
I
I kept sending voice messages in
shukran,
Arabic, and I'm like, why is this girl not
Aywa.
answering the things? Yeah. But anyway, now I know you're not Arab, so at least okay. So you're Pakistani, but you born and raised or grew up. Where did you grow up?
Oh my God, you want a Dubai answer?
Okay,
So
what's the Dubai
my
answer?
ethnicity is
What-
Pakistani.
Yeah.
I identify as an international Pakistani.
Do you identify as a box?
Oh, what?
A box? Sorry, because everyone identifies as something today, so it's just funny
Yeah,
for
today
me.
I'm a tree. No,
Yeah,
come on, let's
yeah.
not go there.
Okay, yeah, let's not go there. We
Yeah,
have to be,
okay. So I'm a British national.
Okay.
And your next question will be, but you don't sound it.
There you
Where's
go.
your
Thank you
accent
very
from?
much. Where's your accent? You
Yeah.
do not. You sound like a total white girl.
Yeah, so no, I'm not. I'm a coconut.
Yeah. Okay.
So my accent is North American because I spent 12 years growing up there, including college.
Okay.
And it stuck. So here
All
we
right.
are.
Nice. So wait, can you? I want you to clarify this. What's a Dubai answer again?
So a Dubai answer is a Dubai answer to a very Dubai question, which is
What's a Dubai question and what's a Dubai answer?
where are you from?
Okay.
Right? So you're like, what should I answer first? Do they mean, if you say where you've grown up, then they'll say, but where are you originally from?
Okay.
You know, which means your ethnicity.
Right.
And then when they go deeper into it, they'll also mean which part of Dubai you live in.
Okay.
Because they'll want to know exactly where you live, how long you've lived there, your DNA, your accent, and the passport that you carry. So
Okay.
it's a very detailed answer.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're just confident enough, just say what you really are. And
Oh,
then
I'm
why do
happy
you
to
care?
provide all of them except for the address because I think
Yeah.
that's a bit too much.
I mean, it is.
It's a
bit
safe
too-
city, but still, we don't want to encourage,
All right. So I want you to do your own introduction. I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I would usually do an introduction. I would, but I thought maybe this. I'll give the floor to you.
Okay, I can conduct the interview too. I
Here's
don't
the
mind.
floor. You can.
All right.
You're having.
Well.
This is me handing the floor to you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
So I have a startup. It is a matchmaking service as well as social gatherings for singles. It's called DXB Dubai Social League. And I've been doing the events for about 2 years and I've just restructured it. So it'll be pretty good moving along. And I do take on matchmaking clients. And it's very personalized and the results are fantastic and I enjoy doing it.
So when did you start it? Like when did you actually really start taking it seriously or really put all of your time and effort into it?
Well, I'm a multitasker. I have
Yeah.
other responsibilities as well in life. So I just plan it very intelligently
Okay.
so that I put in a lot of quality time, but I don't spend my whole week on it.
Yeah.
So I started the events 2 years ago and the matchmaking I started officially about 8 months ago, but I've been a matchmaker, you could say, my whole life
Okay.
without officially doing it, just connecting friends,
Okay.
and just playing Cupid, being a
In
great
Arabic,
wing woman.
in Arabic we have a name for that. Khattabe. It means the lady that always.
Oh, you mean, okay, so like in Pakistan, that's called a rishta auntie. Please don't call me that because it sucks. It is cringy. It is awkward. I'm way too cool for that.
I had to.
I'm one of
You
the
really
cool moms.
walked yourself into this.
No,
this joke.
I don't believe in that stuff. Come on.
Okay,
I'm
I'm
too
joking.
cool for that. Come on.
Was it- I mean, you can take a joke, right?
Yeah, I mean,
There you go.
yeah.
Then you're good to go.
Yeah, sure, you can call me that if you really insist. But
You're the
I won't
modern.
take-
You're the modern. What do you
I
call
won't take you on as a client if you call me that. And if you say anything about like, I don't know, hey, I watched Indian Matchmaking. Are you like that? I'll be like, oh, hell no. That lady doesn't want anyone to have chemistry. I'm not, no way.
So you've been doing matchmaking your entire life.
Well, yeah, off and on, here and there, suggesting people. Yeah.
Okay.
Two of
And-
my friends got married because of me.
Okay.
And they're today still married, alhamdulillah, with 3
Alhamdulillah.
children.
MashaAllah.
So,
Okay.
and I did that in my 20s.
So why do you say events and then you said about the matchmaking?
Because that's the business model.
Okay. So
Yeah,
it was initially events and
Yeah,
then it
yeah. So I moved
expanded
here.
into something else.
When I moved here, like I've been visiting here most of my life, and when I moved here 3 years ago, I started adventing. I'm single myself, so I started attending events where I thought I would meet like-minded people, and from different countries, working, interesting, and like nobody was introducing anyone to each other. I couldn't tell who was married and who was single, and I didn't want to talk to people's husbands, because that's
Yeah.
like not really respectful
That's not.
if
yeah.
the wives aren't
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it was just like an odd mishmash of age groups, and
Right.
I don't know. So I was like, why don't I just do it myself? So I didn't mean it as a business. I just meant like as a community effort.
Okay.
And I've always enjoyed throwing parties and things. So
Nice.
to me, it just came naturally. So it just
Okay.
started from there.
All right. So,
Yeah.
and do you, is it something that came up as an idea later on as you were doing the events, or you already had it like pre-planned? You're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to come do this. And then the next step, that's when.
No, it's completely organic.
Really?
Yeah, it just
That's
grew
nice.
itself.
Okay. So why did you pick Dubai out of all places to move here?
I love Dubai,
Okay.
and I think Dubai loves.
How does it love? How do you define the
I
the,
feel
the love
very-
that Dubai has for you?
I feel very inspired here.
Okay.
I think a lot of people move here because they have great ideas for business. They want to make a better life for themselves and contribute.
I think what you're trying to say, it's a very good ecosystem.
It is, but I also find it very supportive. It's very welcoming. It's very supportive.
Right.
And there's so many people in the same boat. We can just lift each other up together. And attending networking sessions, workshops, it just keeps me going. I just love it.
As opposed to all the other places where you live, do you feel like networking here is a lot easier?
I think networking is given a big priority here, and because there's so many newcomers on a daily basis.
Right.
And plus, we host massive conferences that bring, like, the whole world comes here. We're the capital of the world
I
now.
made a post the other day on my Instagram, and I'm like, because I was complaining a little bit about the traffic. Nowadays, not so much because like it's empty.
Yeah.
I'm like, did the whole world decide to just move to Dubai like together? It's unbelievable. Because I mean, Sheikh Zayed Road is never not crowded at any point in time throughout the week. And I was looking at the statistics because I mean, my business is in construction and real estate, and 1% is the increase of population in Dubai every quarter.
Wow.
That's crazy because that's usually the increase that you see in a year. So this is happening in one quarter, and it's expected to only increase. So there's like 55 to 60,000 people moving every quarter to Dubai.
Yeah, but people move away too, right?
I don't
But
know
not
about
as much.
No,
Not
this
as
is the
much.
net. This is
Yeah.
a net number. So this is
Wow.
the out and in.
You must know so many people like I do who say they're going to move here for 2 years and they stay for 20.
Every single
They stay
person
for
that I
20.
met always says I was supposed to stay here for 1 year, 2 years, and they've
Yeah.
been here for 10, 20, 30.
Yeah.
I really like know founders and entrepreneurs that have been here for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
And like obviously older people, and they just wanted to come here for a little bit, and then one thing led to another, and most of them, actually a lot of them, I would say at least 50% move with a one-way ticket. Like they're like,
Interesting.
we have to make it work. Like they
Yeah.
just burn all bridges, and they're like, we got to make it work. So, and I'm sure you probably meet a lot of those people too. All right. So I'm going to ask you about your business model.
My business model consists of, it's a 2-pronged strategy.
Okay.
I feel that one benefits the other. One
Okay.
is matchmaking services that I offer to select clientele. And I also have a database, which is free. It's confidential. It's free for everyone to join. And based off that, I plan social gatherings, and I also matchmake people for my clients through that. So it's a community that I've created. The social gatherings are really what drives the brand, because it's a live community that's evolving and it's full of wonderful people and energy. And my clients are VIPs to me, which is why I call them VIPs. It's not a pretentious term. It's just they are so important to me. Like,
they're
I
your family.
Genuinely,
Extended family.
I genuinely care about them.
Yeah.
Like, I start caring on a personal level.
But it should be a two-way street, right?
You know, I think
Do
most
they
things are
care about you
mutual.
as much as you care about them?
I hope so. I mean, no,
Well,
they're really
I'm-
nice people.
I
Like,
know,
they're
I'm just
actually really
teasing.
solid, nice people.
I'm
and
sure.
I feel like this city is full of really great people, intelligent, accomplished, decent.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of connecting them.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good. And so when you talk about like the base that you have and all these customers, I'm actually, you know what? I'm an engineer. I'm obsessed with numbers. So I'm just going to ask you, do you have like, can you reveal the numbers of the people, of the members that you have, or it's confidential?
You see, it depends. If it comes to followers, then I would say tens of like maybe around 12,000.
That's amazing.
No, but that's if you count everybody,
Yeah.
as well as the database, as well as, I mean, the WhatsApp group, as well
Yeah.
as it
But
depends
that's a
on
lot.
how you count
I mean,
people.
you've accomplished 2 years and you've done this. That's really good.
Well, I actually just started this part in December, so I
Hats
would
off
say,
to you.
but not everyone is an active member. There's also lurkers.
Doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, if they're there and they're watching, they're either ready or they're potentially going to be ready, because no one's going to follow you or be interested in your services unless they have some sort of interest
I think that's very
in
true.
the pipeline, right?
Yeah, that's very true. Some of them have told me, "Sorry, I haven't attended yet, but I would like to." And I'm
Exactly.
like, "That's fine. Take all the time you
So,
need."
so you could say that most of these 12,000 people are potentials. Maybe not now, maybe in a year, maybe they're not ready, maybe they want to be ready, and maybe they have some stuff that they need to
Absolutely.
figure out
And
first.
Dubai is the kind of place where every flight brings with it more single people.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we've got new people every day.
It's the city. It's the city of. Can you call it the city of matchmaking?
No, I mean, if you look at it, we have dating apps, right?
Yeah. I was actually going to ask you about this. This is my next question, and I'm like, what sets your services apart from the rest of the industry? Because you've got all these other apps.
We are the anti-dating app.
Anti-dating app.
Anti-dating app.
Okay.
Dating apps.
Elaborate, please.
Okay, so dating apps are all about getting hooked on the app, paying for features. It's a numbers game. You start believing that somebody better will come along. You get addicted to swiping. There's endless texting. There's very few meetups, and you get scammed, whether you're a man or a woman.
Scammed, like
will-
as in you get like catfished.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Women as well as men.
Right.
There's scammers, there's fake profiles, there's professionals seeking to take advantage. So there's all that out there. You need a really
Did you watch that?
strict-
Did you watch that series? And there's one there.
Of course,
This
of
was
course.
too good. I mean, it's very sad, but it's just such a crazy
So
story.
yeah, women get taken advantage of, and men get taken advantage of as well. So I would say, experience it for yourself, see what's out there, but at the same time, don't completely rely on it.
So you can I make this statement, and correct me if I'm wrong? Your matchmaking services are very personalized, as
The
opposed.
matchmaking is completely personalized.
Very good.
And the
Okay.
social gatherings also have a curated guest list.
Right.
So I see, I have to ask this question. And then
Yeah.
sometimes people will say, I'm single in Dubai. Or I'm like, what, are you an MBA? And they're like, what's that? And I'm like, we have a term in Dubai called married but available. And I'm sorry, but that's not the kind of MBA we welcome. You can seek your kind of entertainment elsewhere, but
Yeah.
please don't insult our community by doing that.
There are actually people that have the audacity to say that to you.
Forget about saying that. They sign up for matchmaking.
You're joking.
I'm like, why would you want a matchmaking service when you have a wife at home who doesn't even know what you're doing?
You're joking.
Oh, but marriage is complicated. I'm like, I know, I'm divorced. So what you do is you sort it out with your wife and stop hiding and stop lying. And once things are settled, that is when you should make a step towards socializing in this regard.
Oh, okay.
And please stay away from us. And I evict them.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's just disrespectful to wives as well as to the women of our community. And it's a strong message I send forward. And I try to protect and make it a safe space. It's important.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't care how much money somebody has, but if they're seeking to take advantage of somebody, that's
I know what
not
you mean.
cool. It's not acceptable.
Okay. And because you said you made this comment when we were just talking about this earlier, and you're like, you don't want to be labeled as elite, but let me ask you this question. What type of clientele do you have, or how do you classify them? How do you categorize them? Like,
I would say, if you want to say elite, I think the word elite has been misused in so many ways. So I don't even want to go there.
Yeah.
But I would say good quality, decent people, accomplished, intelligent, relatively stable as well, doing well in their careers, basically in a good place for a solid relationship.
But that could just also mean a good average person that has like something stable, a good personality, right?
But that makes them highly sought after.
Yeah.
Just because they tick those boxes.
Right.
And sometimes people sound great on paper, but they won't be in real life. So
it's very
someone
different.
who's socially and emotionally mature and has that kind of stability, and who wants to make a life with someone.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
good. And so what?
One more thing. You asked me earlier, and I didn't get to answer.
Of course, what did I
about
ask
dating
you?
apps.
I asked you a lot of things.
You asked about, are you like a dating app, or what do you offer that's different?
Yeah, what's
So I
different?
wanted to say that we're the anti-dating app.
Yeah,
In
that should be your
we-
slogan. Can I get royalty for that?
Yeah, sure.
Every time you use it?
Absolutely.
We're the
Go for it. How much would you
anti-dating
like?
app.
Okay.
I mean, what's the going rate? 1%? I'm messing with you.
You could do a promo for me. It's all yours. All right.
Okay. So
So
go
we
on.
are the anti-dating app because we want you to meet people in real life, and you don't get to swipe. You don't get to look at our database. I get to do that. I have the honor and privilege of doing that because I hold all your secrets and all your personal
So
information.
all my eggs are in your basket.
Absolutely.
But
It's
how
all up
does
to
that
me.
how does that favor mean anyway?
Because you trust me. People trust me, and I trust them, and
That's
they-
a big statement. That's a really big statement. I mean, obviously, like, I would trust you with this, but like, people are very reluctant in the beginning.
Yes.
So
Yes.
how do you break the ice? How do you break that barrier? How do you?
I don't really try to. I'm not intrusive, but I try to get to know them on a one-on-one basis if it's
Right.
a client. And even when we have group gatherings, I really try for all of us to be welcoming towards each other. I
Right.
don't want people sitting alone. I don't want people acting cliquey. Most people come for the first time. People who are either new in town or they've been here many years but only used to couples gatherings or all women gatherings or all men gatherings with colleagues. So for them, it's a step in the right direction towards making new friends and socializing, especially people who identify as introverts. I'm so thrilled when people come for the first time to what they've told me as a larger gathering, and they're like, we don't socialize, but this was so nice. We got to talk to so many people.
Nice.
Yeah, I love it. So
That's good. That's
so
really
it's about
good. And where
connection.
do you usually do the gatherings? Like different places?
Yes.
Okay.
Different
so,
places.
okay.
I'm always on
You
the
just-
lookout for new restaurants and
Right.
new venues and
How
also
big
activities.
how big do these gatherings get?
It can be anywhere from 30 to 100.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot, but big enough to be controlled.
Yes.
Because bigger than that, it just becomes a bit.
Well, the 100 people ones are not that many. It's
Yeah.
more; those are more for special occasions.
Right.
But generally, I try to keep it like a medium-sized gathering so
Yeah.
that people get the chance to really talk to each other.
Yeah.
But I'm also going into activities for this
Okay.
new social calendar. And it'll be pretty exciting because I'll be covering arts, culture, sports, and many different kind of activities where you can bond with each other.
Yeah. So I'm
While
gonna
you're
ask you
doing
something,
things.
and you better have the answer for this.
Yeah.
But I'm like, who was the first person that signed up with you in Dubai? I mean, obviously you're not gonna disclose who they are, but like, as a
Do you mean as a
description.
client, or do
Yeah.
you mean for social gatherings?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Well,
for matchmaking.
Well, before I officially launched the matchmaking, I did like a trial run.
Right. Oh, nice. Okay.
So I had 60
That's smart.
people who immediately signed up.
60.
60, and two of them
Wow.
are engaged to be married.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. So those
you.
can be considered the first, let's say, success story.
Yes, and those were actually I did those in a different manner.
How?
Now I do it differently because it was a trial run, and I knew that I had only a certain amount of time.
Right.
So I did it on a larger scale, but now I do it on a smaller scale because I give it more time and attention.
Is this like a one-man show, or do you have like people working with you?
I have excellent advisors,
Very
senior
good.
level advisors, but I
Okay.
am a solopreneur for now
Right.
until
okay.
I scale up.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
is the right way of doing it, because you can't, I mean, in the beginning, you got to control quality, you got to control how it's done. So it's obviously good to stay in your hands just until you, like you said, until you're able to scale up.
Yeah, but you can't imagine what's going to be happening in this market. Not Dubai, but worldwide.
Why?
Relationships are becoming I try to focus on authenticity and meeting people in real life, like no swiping. I do that. I do the lists. I set you up on dates.
Right.
You know, but it's becoming more and more like virtual. So not only are you being catfished, but you're going to end up being in an AI relationship. And not just with somebody who's using AI for their conversation, but actual AI avatars.
Every single time I have a podcast with someone, AI comes up, or I bring up AI because of how scary it is and how it's changing literally everything. And then I had this discussion the other day with a guy that's he's a very big social media he's a social media manager. I mean, that's a title pretty much. And he said that like there are literally right now very deep AI characters that are like almost look as if they're a real person. They really look like they're a real person, and they act and they have their own persona and they have their own everything, and it's just crazy.
So guess what I did
What'd you
yesterday?
do? What?
So I asked.
I don't know if I really want to hear the answer to that.
I think you'll find it really interesting. I took
Okay.
screenshots. I can share them later.
Okay.
In fact, I will share them later.
To me.
I had on socials.
Okay.
I'll pop them on socials.
Okay, good.
I decided to have an AI conversation, like a conversation with an AI, and I said, "Act like you're my boyfriend."
Okay.
And guess what?
What?
I broke up with my AI boyfriend in 3 minutes. It was not good enough.
Is the problem you or him?
Well, I mean,
What'd you do?
He was just not getting it. I'm sorry, AI.
Okay.
You're just not there yet.
How'd you guys break up?
I just said he got it.
So
he
if
said
you-
understood. He
He
got
un-
a little, yeah.
Okay. And so if you want a mediator, do you just get another AI mediator to mediate between you and your AI boyfriend?
I think I'm gonna wait for a real live person who can actually breathe. I don't mind human flaws. I just wanted to see what was out there in terms of an AI relationship. So
What's that? You remember that movie? Did you watch that movie? What's it called? Blade Runner? Blade Runner. The one
vaguely
with
Are you sure we're talking about Blade Runner? Aren't you talking about that other one
which one?
with the what's her name? What's
Who?
her name?
The Cuban actress?
No, there's so many AI movies.
No, I think
No, I'm not
it's
talking about
called-
Blade Runner. I'm talking about the one where what's her name?
You know
was,
the Blade Runner, right?
Yeah, but
Where you can't, where technology is
watch
like
it.
so developed and you can't tell a real person from a
I
fake person.
didn't watch it. I was like, there's no way I'm watching this.
Yeah, I mean it's a long movie, but
Yeah.
pretty much, yeah, this guy falls in love with. You know,
but there's another
a
movie like
complete-
that too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean I
there's
don't
a
watch.
lot of movies like that now,
Yeah,
and they started this back in the turn of the century, I think, because
Yeah.
they knew something like this was going to happen.
Obviously.
And it is happening now, and it'll happen in Japan first.
But yeah, keep me updated on what happens with you and your AI ex-boyfriend.
No,
We'll see.
it was like a 3-minute conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It was even
But in
worse
case
than the
something
ones.
happens, just keep me posted. All right.
Well, this is one way I try to stay relevant
Okay.
in terms of my research. You know, I will try out the dating apps, and I have been through marriage. I am divorced. I am a parent. I know what it's like being single, so I can relate to most people.
Yeah.
And I feel like the women and the men are just getting more and more similar with age.
Yeah.
I don't think we're a different breed.
Yeah.
The more stories I hear from people, the more I realize how similar we are.
Yeah.
Whether we grow up in a different country, or we're a different religion, or we're a different gender, I think we're all very similar here.
In the essence, we're all looking for the same qualities.
We're looking for kindness and clarity.
Compassion.
And that too, but we're not. I think everybody has so much trauma from dating apps as well as some kind of deception in their lives that they're just looking for the basics, especially as they get.
Yeah.
And I think people realize that more and more as they get older.
Yeah. Obviously, because life is a lot. I wouldn't say more difficult, but it's just a lot more distraction right now.
Yeah, I mean, people have busy lives, long work hours.
Exactly.
So many responsibilities, and nobody wants to be saddled with someone who's wasting their time.
Whereas the Dr. Joe Peterson said that you have to even value the very few basic minutes that you have with each other, because right now, like, your life is so busy that even these mundane minutes that, like, you sit on the table and have breakfast, or when you come back home and you just like watch TV or do something or have dinner for a few minutes, these are like so important, because the rest of the time is just people are hustling, they're outside working, doing something, etc. So not that I'm a big fan after what he said with the conflict, where we're not going to get into that, but he's a good guy.
Okay.
Overall, like, he has some good theories. All right, I'm going to ask you about the process of basically getting your clients. How do you do it? Like, what's the process of new clients joining your service?
They actually come to me.
Okay.
So I get really good word of mouth.
So it's word of mouth. Okay.
Yeah, word of mouth. But of course, I'm on the social media channels.
Right.
And if you search for me on Google, you'll find me.
Nice.
You'll find us.
So you're VIP.
So we're.
So I'm doing a podcast with a VIP person.
What? No.
I'm joking.
Depends on what you categorize as VIP.
I mean, obviously, like right now, you already have developed a very good reputation amongst your members. So
thank you.
Word of mouth is very good.
Thank you.
And it's the way to go, honestly, especially if you're starting. I think that's the best way until you scale up. But how do you ensure the privacy and confidentiality of everyone?
Well, I don't share their information with anybody.
Okay. So they fully trust you with it.
Yes, they do. And I deeply honor that trust. So I subscribe to a smart match platform that other top matchmakers worldwide subscribe to, and I store information on that.
Okay.
And I don't let anybody see anyone's profile.
So you could say like the security part of it or the privacy part of it is kind of outsourced.
That is correct.
Okay.
But it's a lot of very top-notch matchmaking agencies, like one I know very well in London. They're on that as well. So
that's a smart way of doing it, because then you just, I wouldn't say shift that risk onto someone, but like let someone else take care of it.
Well, they don't get to see the profiles either.
Okay.
So it's just a storage, a way of storing information. The rest is.
But do you have any specific like type of technology that you use for your matchmaking? That like helps facilitate, because obviously as you grow, it's going to become a lot more difficult.
Absolutely. When I search for certain attributes, I will get a whole list depending on how detailed people's profiles are. Some people leave sections blank and they don't come up in results as much unless I manually search. Which is why I'm always encouraging people to fill out every category or update categories if changes occur in their lives. But yeah, I do. I use a filtering process, but for the most part, I also rely on my own instinct and my own judgment, because I feel that it's also destiny, and I'm just helping destiny along.
There's an Arabic word for it, nasib.
Oh, yeah, of course. Nasib,
Yeah. Oh, you guys use it too?
Absolutely.
Nice. All right. what like because in Pakistan it's mainly Urdu, right?
Yeah, it's Urdu, but it's
what's
a Muslim
the word
country.
for it?
It's the same word.
What's the same word?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not completely adept at Urdu, so I'm not a scholar.
All right.
Yeah, sorry. My native language is...
It's all good.
Told you I'm a coconut.
All right. So I noticed that a lot of people in your testimonials have spoken very highly of you. And I want to know how your human element is basically really giving your company and your matchmaking services an edge over others. Like, what do you feel like you're doing different?
Well,
Because
I would
I mean, I've seen some really good testimonials, and I'm
Oh, thank
obviously
you.
I highly applaud you for that. And it's not easy, right? Because you're dealing with humans, you're dealing with people, so it's super difficult to manage expectations. So how do you go around that?
Yeah. How do I go around it, or why do I have good testimonials?
Both.
No, I don't bribe them. It's okay. So here's how it goes. I believe in authenticity.
Right.
And, when I'm talking to someone, getting to know them, feeling their energy, they decide to trust me with information, and then I just do my best.
Right.
And sometimes I don't take people on as clients as
Mm-hmm.
well for different reasons. Sometimes I feel they're not completely ready, or perhaps they want to meet somebody with completely different criteria from what I provide.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tell them the truth, and if they are my clients, I guide them along, and I metaphorically hold their hand, and I want the process to be enjoyable as well.
Right.
I don't want it to just be like, I don't want them to feel pressured.
Yeah.
We pressure ourselves so much in life. So I want it to be happy, exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's your most memorable experience from any of your clients?
Well, I've had so many. Sometimes there's unexpected things when I haven't directly match-made people, but indirectly I'll invite them to the same event.
Yeah. Oh,
And
okay.
I'll introduce them. I'll be
Yeah.
like, I think you should talk to this person.
Yeah.
And they ended up with a serious relationship,
Yeah.
which could lead to marriage. And this has happened several times.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and so usually do you feel like when you do it indirectly, it always ends up being better?
No, I think you see, with personalized matchmaking, I can really go into detail.
Right.
And I can outreach. And then if people are busy with family or business travel, it's at their convenience.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they have to be at the right place at the right time.
Right.
I make it happen for them. Like, I will schedule their first meeting,
Yeah.
and I won't be chaperoning the first date. I'm not that bad.
Yeah.
But I'll make it happen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
As we said, nudging destiny along. The seed.
Exactly. And how do you handle like clients that have like successful experience?
Depends on what you categorize as unsuccessful.
They just didn't click or
Okay,
whatever.
for example, an introduction that went really well, but it fizzled out after 3 months. That is beyond my. That's beyond my scope. I'm there to make the introduction, to make it happen. Also following up, but to carry it forward, it depends on those two people. They're consenting adults. And what I would do is, if a person is upset and they're my client, I would say, take all the time you need and heal. And when you're ready for it, we'll start again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Life happens. You
Yeah.
have to make allowances for that. And
but
then,
do you have like specific like KPIs or like any way to measure how successful the thing is going?
so it's more about qualitative than quantitative analysis. For example, if the couples that I've introduced all decide to get married within 3 months, I would not count that as a success. I would say that that's a red flag. That's too fast. And
You
it
think 3
might
months is
look
too
like,
fast?
yeah, I mean, I did it.
Yeah.
And I'm divorced. I would say that take your time and get to know someone, even if
What
you're
would
in a
you say
rush
is a
to
good
start a
time frame?
family. Well, some of the relationship coaches that I work with have told me.
You never told me you had relationship coaches.
Well, I'm always working with people.
That's good.
Yeah,
Well, you should like,
I host talks and I host all kinds of things.
yeah, that's good. You should
Yeah,
like
I try to uplift all of us at the same time, you know.
yeah,
And
but you should advertise that, because obviously that's something that gives your business a lot of credibility. I mean, you already have a lot of credibility,
Thank
but that's
you.
exactly why it's working, because you're getting also advice from professionals.
Oh, absolutely. So when you're with somebody, you should be with them at least 3 to 4 months to really know who the other person is. Because sometimes people have some kind of mask. Not everyone is authentic. So if somebody appears authentic, you will find out within 3 to 4 months if they are
Eventually,
really that
yes.
person that they're presenting themselves as.
Yeah.
So that's one thing.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's sometimes time constraints. If you want to start a family and you're at that biological age, then of course
Yeah.
things go faster.
Obviously.
And then sometimes in life, people's career takes them to different locations. I mean, there's so many things that go into it. But I would say a shotgun wedding without knowing each other is not the way to go forward, because you need to get to know someone properly.
So when does your involvement start and when does it finish when you're onboarding clients?
Well, I hope it never finishes. I mean,
But
I want to be
obviously it
there
has
at their
to finish
weddings.
at one point, like, because, you know, like you hold
Yeah.
their hands, you know, they get...
No, I'm there. Like, they've got my WhatsApp number. They can reach
Right.
out to me anytime they want. It doesn't mean that just because your, you know, your client period has ended, it doesn't mean I'm not going to be there for you.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm
That's
there.
really good. So I want to ask you about the average age of your clientele.
So I would say,
Because obviously listen, I'm an engineer. I need to know numbers all the time. Everything in numbers. Because then I'm
average
going
age.
Yeah, and then I'm going to ask you other numbers, but like
30s to 50s. Although
50s.
Oh.
People are still looking for love at 50.
Actually, for me, the older the better. I also have people who are 70 years old.
You're joking.
And I love it. I love
You
it.
are joking.
Love and mature ages.
I want to know
Oh,
exactly
I love
who
it.
is the 70-year-old person that was looking for love.
There's 3 actually.
3.
Yes.
Who are they?
They're amazing. They're sensational.
Really?
I love
Where are
them.
they from?
2 are European, 1 is Arab.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
What would you like an introduction?
no. This girl has no chill. This
I mean,
girl
if that's
has
your
no
type.
chill. No, I mean, I'm just curious. I mean, 70s
okay.
is such a...
Why? We're gonna get there too.
I mean, yeah, I know, but like...
I want to feel like I'm getting older and
Listen, give me a
I
break.
can take my time.
This is all new to me. You've been doing this for God knows how long. I mean,
Not
I'm
that
just
long.
yeah, but I'm surprised. Like 70s.
Why? You think people don't have a heart as they get
No,
older?
they do. But like, just wondering what's like. I mean,
Oh, please. In fact, I welcome the more mature you are,
Yeah.
the more I will welcome you, because I want to
Nice.
make it happen for you.
that's cute. All right, that's good.
Yeah.
So,
I
all
mean,
right.
if you're in your 20s, the world is already your oyster. I mean, let the rest of us have it, you know?
Okay. All right. So I'm
But
gonna.
wait, I haven't answered your question, Mr.
What question?
You're already like moving on.
You already told
30s
me.
to 50s, but
But,
I
okay,
also
there's a
have
but.
people in their late 20s who, not men, I don't really encourage under 30, but there are socially mature
But
women.
in the 20s, they're not too mature.
There are socially mature women, late
Yeah.
20s.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
When they're ready.
It's so funny because there was a meme the other day, and I'm sure you enjoy memes a lot.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna send it to you. You know, like they would mention, like in the 70s, two a man and a woman in their 20s talking to each other, like, yeah, we should buy a house. And then 2024, 2020, a man and a woman in their 20s are like, I really, really hope they send that Big Mac sauce with my delivery. You know, like how.
Yeah, it's
The-
not as affordable now either.
No, it's not an issue of affordable. It's
And
an issue.
people are late bloomers
Yeah,
as
and
well.
not, and
I'm a
that-
late bloomer.
Yeah, not just that, but also like the maturity too.
Yeah, and also we do things later in life now. I mean, what's
Yeah.
the new middle age now? It's not 40 now; it's like 60.
Yeah,
So we stay on Earth longer.
yeah.
We start things later.
So, what would you say would be the ideal age
For what?
to get into a serious relationship?
I would say when you're mentally ready.
It doesn't
when you
matter.
feel stable, when you're socially, emotionally ready.
I'm gonna make a statement,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna tell you if I'm gonna ask you to tell me if that statement is right or wrong. Every single business entrepreneur person, especially nowadays, and the ones that are like very popular, every single one of them, and I literally watch this being repeated over and over again. They say, especially men, they do not advise for any man to get into a serious relationship unless they really have figured out their like career and their like, let's say, finances first, and they have like a stable sort of like setup, especially if they really want to build something and if they want to build something big, because that could be a major distraction. I want to hear your thoughts on that statement.
I think that applies to both men and women. Complete your education and at least be on your journey to your career goals. Because stability
But
is
that's
important.
never ending though, right?
I didn't say reach the pinnacle. I
Right.
said just be on the journey. You don't have to be, you can be halfway up the mountain. You don't have to reach there.
Yeah.
That can happen at any time. And you can also fall at any time, you know.
Okay.
And things happen in life. But if your heart is ready and if you feel socially, it also depends on your attachment style.
Right.
You know, how secure are you? And I think the pressure that men have in terms of being successful enough for a woman, I think that's a bit excessive.
So you think it's a misconception? You think
No, it's not a misconception. It's a reality. But I think that women are also, especially...
No, misconception as in it's not really as bad as men think. What you're trying to say is that there are some women out there that really are understanding and they're accepting of the fact that this man or this guy is still on a journey.
Absolutely. It's not about has the man
And I don't like
reached
to
his...
get like philosophical and theoretical, but I'm really asking you because you really you're a very hands-on woman, so you like hear this stuff all the time from people you deal with.
Of course, and I listen to what they say, and I think that men and women face an incredible amount of pressure, whether it's looks, whether it's success, but a place like Dubai balances it out because it makes us more equal in that aspect.
Okay.
Like you'll see the women here who are equally successful. The men are successful, the women are successful. By successful, I mean that they're on their journey. I don't mean that they've reached it and they've hit gold. I mean that if you have the potential to do well in life, that's more important, isn't it? Because then you can pick yourself up at any time and do it. And if you have focus, and that's what I mean by stability. That's what people look for in a partner.
Yeah.
And I don't think men look for women anymore who are depending on them for everything, from finances to emotional well-being. I think men want a partner, and I think women want a partner too.
So
It's
there are
all
women out there
partnerships
that,
now.
like, especially from the ones you deal with, that are really willing to help and be there and support.
Absolutely, because when you're starting a family, you don't want to do it alone.
Right.
Ideally, you want your partner to be there with you.
Yeah, because there's a lot of expectation that it should be, the man's responsibility to sort of like be the provider. So,
well, a woman is the one who gives birth, so of course that's
Right.
immense responsibility. But in raising a child, it shouldn't just be the onus shouldn't just fall on her. And if she wants to continue her career, she should be able to if she wants to.
Okay.
As well. I mean, that varies from family to family, but I think we're seeing a lot of equality now. So it's a lot of like-minded people
here
seeking
more than
each other.
anywhere.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is why I think Dubai is a great place to meet people, because you will meet people on your level.
Okay.
People who are working, people who either have families or want to start a family.
Right.
And that is actually the number one question I ask them. I ask every client.
We're going to get to that.
Okay.
I'm going to
I'll
ask you a
save
lot of
it then.
questions about that. But what's the most common factor that really doesn't allow people or your clients to get along? If there was one major reason why they sort of not click, what would it be?
You mean with each other or in the past?
With each other. Or is it a combination of things?
It's usually a combination of things. Like usually they'll meet people who fit their criteria in most ways. Not every single way, but most ways. Sometimes I also go by instinct. I think I can imagine them having a great conversation or hitting it off.
Right.
And even if they are not like 10 out of 10 fulfilling their entire checklist, sometimes it works really well. But other times when they fulfill their criteria, they still don't have that kind of chemistry or mental chemistry, which then leads to emotional and physical chemistry. That's important as well.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say a first date necessarily tells you that. It takes usually like a second or third. It's good to give someone a chance.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And how?
But so far, nobody has intensely disliked anybody on a first date. Never.
Yeah, because usually, if you're gonna get to the point where it's already a first date, then there've already been a lot of, let's say, due diligence done on your part.
Yes, on my part, not on theirs.
So it's not like.
So they're trusting me, and I don't want them to have an awful experience. Time is precious. Why would I want? Yeah.
Okay. And how competitive would you say like the matchmaking or elite matchmaking is here in Dubai? Yeah, because I'm sure there are other people that are doing it too, right?
Yes, there are, and I think the more the merrier. I think we have to support each other and lift each other up, and I think there's enough people for everyone. And I'm all for supporting each other. I don't consider anyone competition.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, or
That's
competition.
good. Your heart's in the right place, so I'm sure.
Hey,
you're
people
blessed.
ask me as well. They're like, "Hey, I have a client. Do you have anyone you could maybe suggest? I'm like, sure, happy to look for you.
Yeah.
And they'll ask me here in Dubai, they'll ask me in London, they'll ask me in different places.
Nice.
And why not?
That's good. And how do you stay ahead of your competitors in that case? Like, do you do things differently?
Well, again, they're not my competitors.
Right. Okay.
We're all
serving.
each
We're all serving
other.
humanity.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's not just that, but I think we all bring our individual personality into it, and I think we're not all the same category either. Like
Okay.
a lot of things overlap, but some things are different. Like for example, one person will be a coach, like
Yeah.
a life coach or a relationship coach. For me, I do gatherings, I do events.
Okay.
And another person will have a dating app.
Yeah.
Or another person will have a network of, employees, 20 different matchmaking employees.
Yeah.
So I think we're all very different.
Yeah.
And I think people should just, make their own decision. But I don't think we're all competing with each other. I think there's enough of us to go around.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
good. That's a very healthy way of looking at
And
it.
plus, I focus more on like older people as well,
Yeah.
I really try when there's people who are widowed, single parents, people who are looking for love at older ages. I find that the most romantic thing. I mean, yes, if you're young and successful and you're ready, you can come to me as well. But hey, if you have a single parent or aunt or uncle, bring them along too.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good. And do you feel like there are any specific challenges that are unique to the Dubai market?
I think there's a couple of things at play here. One, there's this misconception that people in Dubai are superficial.
I hear that all the time.
Yeah, so that's one thing, and I'm going to go into it. And the other thing is people try to take advantage in Dubai. There's this predator angle. So I'm going to discuss these two things. But before that, I want to say that Dubai is very special because we are the most international place on earth?
Probably.
I mean, we have every nationality, every ethnicity, every faith. We're just amazing that way, And I think that's immensely exciting. And so, yeah, now to go into the other things. People do get taken advantage of here, but I would say that, people, both men and women complain about dating apps and scammers and all kinds of things, right? But first of all, those people do not necessarily live in Dubai who are scamming them or taking advantage of them. They're just targeting people in Dubai. And secondly, I think that Dubai residents have more integrity that they're given credit for. We've moved here to do well in life.
Yeah.
So I think we have a lot of solid people here in Dubai as residents. We work hard, we work long hours, we have family responsibilities, we have, there's so much that we do. And what I want to say is that as residents, we don't get easily impressed by people's wealth or beauty because we see so much of it every day.
Very true.
We don't get easily impressed. What does impress, I would say, my community and my network, solid values.
Yeah.
Decency, authenticity, honesty, empathy, respect, dignity, these kind of things. These are the things that matter.
And these are the things that you probably noticed with all of your clientele.
Yes.
That's what they're looking for, basically.
Yes. Everybody is looking for something special.
Right.
And by special, it doesn't mean marrying above your means in terms of finances or beauty. It means somebody aligned with you.
Yeah.
And on the same page as you in terms of, do you want to start a family, or do you want a blended family, or do you want to live here in the long term? Like, there's so many things that we have more things in common than we have differences, despite how multicultural we are.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it, just connecting everyone and being able to be in this wonderful position that I have where I can actually connect people who are aligned, who would normally not be able to meet in real life.
Yeah. But I mean, you mentioned something very important, very interesting. You said that there's so many nationalities here, and that's what makes it so special. But isn't this cultural, let's say, variance also a problem, a barrier? Like, don't you think it could cause a lot of issues between people, or you don't see that as a problem? when you're
So,
matchmaking?
yeah, I mean, I ask each client, and my clients vary. I have clients from every continent. I have Emirati and GCC clients as well.
Oh,
And
really? Locals?
oh, absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah. And for some people, it is important that they are matched with people who are from a very similar culture,
But is it
religion.
like a big thing?
You know what? It's a bigger thing for people who have never been married and are at younger ages.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people at older ages who haven't been married, or
They look past
people,
that.
yeah, they look past that.
Mm-hmm.
And people who've been married before and they want to try again, they often go for someone quite different
Mm.
from who they've already married, like quite different. They'll be open to something different. And people will talk less about ethnicity, for example, and they'll talk more about value, personality.
I feel like you find you find it very rewarding what you're doing, more than the fact that it's work and that it's like a company that you're on to run. But I feel like your heart's really like you're so invested in this.
You can feel it.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
100%.
I get this joy.
Yeah,
Yeah, if I can make somebody happy and do
it's good. That's very
things.
selfless. So that's really good. That's really
Yeah,
good.
I mean, and they're trusting me, and I'm single, I'm divorced, and they're trusting me.
Yeah,
So they're putting faith in me. So it's like they're giving me a gift.
yeah. I mean, obviously that's because it's good because you're finding joy somewhere, making you feel fulfilled, right?
Absolutely.
That's really good. And what do you think are the qualities that would qualify a person to be a good matchmaker? Like I know you said you mentioned a lot about how you rely on your own instinct. What do you think makes you good and as opposed to anyone else? This is your chance to hype yourself up.
I don't know about others, but I would say that you need to have a bit of a Cupid fairy godmother quality.
Mm.
You know, just
What's that?
you sort of feel protective of people and
Okay.
you kind of want to steer them in the right direction and you're
Right.
looking out for them.
Mm.
And if you're an extrovert and like me,
Yeah.
you'll naturally make friends. And sometimes you'll think, oh, they could be well suited with that person. So even if you're not officially matchmaking, you'll still connect people as friends or
Yeah.
help them out, you know?
I know what you mean.
So there's that element. But as a matchmaker, you have to be extremely organized and you cannot be gossipy.
Yeah.
You cannot share personal details about your clients. I take that very seriously.
Right.
Even if my clients ask me questions about candidates, I give them the same answer.
Right.
You have to be very heavily guarded because people trust you with so much. You have to honor this trust.
Obviously.
And you have to be very professional about it as well. I mean, yes, I get a lot of personal satisfaction and out of making things work and
Mm-hmm.
seeing happy couples, but at the same time, you have to keep it professional. You'd be surprised. People ask me, oh, how come you haven't met someone yourself through this?
Mm-hmm.
And I say, because it's not meant for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a service that I'm providing. And at the same time, it's like asking a therapist, why
Yeah.
don't you do therapy on yourself? I mean, a therapist will go to another therapist, right?
Right.
To unload. So that's how it works. Maybe if you're a hairstylist, you could trim your own hair. But if you're a matchmaker, you don't go to your own database and set yourself up. That doesn't work. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So I'm answering this question because it always happens to me. Oh, you're a matchmaker, but you're single?
Yeah.
Yes, I am. I'm just like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when it comes to like mentoring or let's say inspiration, because you said you have a lot of relationship coaches that you work with, who would you say is the best mentor or / inspiration that you worked with that has really helped you with this so far?
Well, I'm always learning.
Mm-hmm.
In general, I'm a writer, so I'm always learning, reading, learning, watching things. I don't think I have a mentor, but I attend so many workshops, networking events, and talks that's what keeps me fueled and
Okay, that's
inspired.
good. Yeah.
And then I have, some resources. Like I have advisors who are, quite senior in their fields. Even the ones who are very young are very savvy. And I listen.
Yeah.
To people of all ages. And I listen to my clients. I listen to people I talk to on a daily basis. And I think we're students our whole lives, right?
Yeah.
So we just have to keep at it. So no, I don't have a mentor.
But you attend a lot of these things that help you out in the process.
Yeah, I like to, even if it's not directly related. I think if you have a creative side, one thing leads to another.
And do you feel like the industry has evolved a lot in the last few years, like the matchmaking industry, or do you feel like it's still pretty much all based on the same concepts that were always there, which are like just basic human elements?
I think dating apps and matchmaking have both evolved considerably, and they will continue to evolve. For one thing,
For better or worse, or both?
that's hard to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just changing because our needs are changing, and there's so much out there compared to 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But I would say that...
your playground right now, pretty much.
You think?
I mean,
Well,
yeah.
everyone thinks they can make an app and it'll be successful.
Yeah.
But what is going to draw someone to that app? You know,
Right.
there's so much that goes into it
Yeah.
for dating apps. And as for matchmaking, which was traditionally very woman dominated with female clients, I think a lot more men are open to it now, because I certainly get a lot of wonderful gentlemen of all ages who are interested. And it doesn't surprise me, because I know that men and women undergo very similar situations and issues.
Yeah.
But and I think it's an advantage
Yeah.
that in the fact that I have quite a gender balanced.
You would say they're almost 50-50, your clientele?
Absolutely.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And do you have like any innovation or technology implemented yet? Or, sorry, my question is, do you plan on implementing any sort of specific technology to sort of really improve your services?
Well, customer service is super important to me, and the feedback I get, and I'm always open to tech. But I will always put myself into it as well, like the human element, especially right now that it's small enough for me to really focus on each person myself. But at some point, you know, AI should help with some information gathering, and initially it was all manual. Now it's automated. A lot of the information gathering is automated. You know, I do all kinds of things to streamline the process. I'm working on it. And, you know, if you ask me in a year, I'll have a better answer.
Yeah.
But I'm like super open to collabs, partnerships, things with venues and brands. You know, just my whole sort of mantra of collectively uplifting and coming up with synergistic sort of solutions to things where we help each other.
That's good. That's very good. And are you still just Dubai based right now, or do you plan on expanding elsewhere?
Well, I do a couple of events in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
But people generally come from all over the Emirates, as well as some from other countries.
Okay.
I do hope to scale up the GCC at some point. But I do have some clients in North America and London and Australia.
Nice.
But of course, you know, those people right now have a link with the UAE.
Right.
So they either visit here, or they want to meet someone here, or they're open to sort of relocating. But I do work with a number of agencies as well around the world who contact me as well. So I think it's just a matter of time before we scale up.
That's very good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good news.
Yeah, the world is a small place.
Yeah.
I want to make it smaller.
Nice. And do you feel like you're going to add any more services or verticals to your business? Because right now you said you have the events and you have the matchmaking. So what else do you plan on doing?
I mean, I have a lot of plans.
Okay. Can
Let's
you
see.
share? Or do you want to wait?
Like seriously or jokingly?
I don't know.
I mean, you know what people keep telling me?
It's a fun podcast. It doesn't have to be all serious.
People keep telling me oh my God, you need a reality show. And I'm like, okay.
What are you going to talk about in the reality show?
No, I mean, it would mean like a lot of cameras and following around, and I protect my clients' privacy. Yeah. Like I'm an open book, but my clients like their privacy. And
exactly. So it's going to be hard to do a reality show if you have to protect the privacy of everything.
That's
everyone.
Right. That's right.
Do you feel like
But I do have some travel related expansion in mind.
Okay.
Like some retreats where people,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
where people
That's a
can
good
get to know
idea.
each other from
Yeah.
different locations.
It's very
Because-
different when people travel.
Yes.
It's
And
very, very
it's like
different.
first there's social gatherings, then there's activities.
I always say this: you only know a friend in 3 instances: when you travel with them, and when you experience deep sorrow or deep sadness with them, or when you experience any money-related issues with them. That's when you really know your friend. If you haven't experienced any of those 3, then you don't really know your. And I would say it's the same for a partner.
I think so, yes. And also how they
Because
treat.
I've traveled with some people that I thought were amazing. Like they're like, really close friends and stuff. But when I travel with them, I'm like, oh, wait to leave. It's very different.
Hopefully it should also be the other way around, right? Like
What?
you think someone is okay and then you travel with them and they're like, wow, fantastic.
Exactly.
We're so aligned.
Because when you're traveling, you're outside your comfort zone. And then a lot of it becomes a game of selfishness or selflessness. Right? Because everybody has a plan and everybody wants to do something. And then you start seeing the other side of people when you travel.
And also when you see people, how they speak to support staff.
Yeah.
And speak to the less fortunate, how they
exactly,
treat them.
like many
just
things.
out of the whole,
just out of their comfort zone, out of their area. And all right, so I wanted to also ask you, how does the onboarding work for your client? How does that happen? Is there like a questionnaire that you provide?
Well, when I'm getting to know first of all, there is a free consult on video, occasionally in real life as well.
Right.
But it's basically a free consult on video, and that is when I get to know my client and see if I can offer the services, because they have to fulfill certain criteria.
Right.
And then I send information along, and then if we decide to move forward, then I look into their profile, I get to know them better. I see within my network, I do outreach. I also give them some guidance on certain personal things. There's certain things I don't really want to divulge here, but there is a process, and the turnover isn't super fast. It's like I don't want them to feel like I'm rushing them, and I want them to know that the matches I find them are based on quality, but also I schedule their first date. So it also depends on travel for both people. So that is actually one of the trickier parts, the scheduling part.
Yeah.
And that is why a lot of relationships don't happen in real life, because people can't even get their schedules right.
Yeah.
And because I'm there doing it, it has a much better chance of happening. And then, successful introductions. And then, I speak to them before, I speak to them after. I see how it's going. I see if they're ready to meet someone else.
Yeah.
So it's sort of scheduled accordingly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really
it's
good.
Personalized.
Do you collaborate with like any specific social or cultural organizations here, or?
I'm so open to it.
Okay.
I mean, I would love to, whether it's a venue or a business or a brand I would love to. And
that's really good. And how do you like market yourself? You said it's purely word of mouth.
Yeah, I mean, I think we come up on some Google searches as well.
Okay.
We've got Instagram, now TikTok.
So you rely mainly on social media and internet?
We're even on LinkedIn.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay. You get people on LinkedIn reaching
Absolutely.
out? Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing. And like, let's talk about what's the biggest misconception that you get about elite matchmaking?
Well, about matchmaking, that it's unaffordable.
Yeah.
And I understand where people are coming from, because there are matchmakers in this country as well as in Europe and in Britain.
Yeah.
They'll charge $40,000.
$40,000?
$40,000, yeah.
For what?
Anywhere from $20,000 to $40,000+.
That's crazy.
That is right, yeah. So I don't do that. I would say mine is quite affordable in that way.
How much is it?
But it's not affordable for everyone.
Yeah.
It's affordable if you're, doing reasonably well in life, and if you want to make an investment in yourself.
Yeah.
But it's just a tiny fraction.
Are you going to give me the number? Or?
I'm not going to give you the number, but it's but if you sign up, you'll find out. But it's a really tiny fraction of what these guys charge. But I would say it's good value.
Is insane, honestly.
You get like my full attention.
Yeah.
And I do my best.
Yeah.
And you also get access to a fantastic social calendar.
That's really. And how often do you do your social events?
A minimum of once a month, a maximum of 3 times a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really good. And do you, like, what do you do to keep your brand sort of like prestigious or, you know?
I really pay attention to feedback.
Okay.
I think customer service is really important, and you have to respect everyone. And I also try to keep it a safe space.
Yeah.
I evict people if I think their etiquette is falling short, or if they don't fulfill certain criteria, which is not
I feel like it's kind of like important to have like a, you know, like a boss, someone like
code
you.
of conduct. Oh.
Yeah, like you, like, you know, like just making sure everybody's behaving. Like, be careful, otherwise I'm gonna put you in the naughty corner.
Yeah, I'm your school principal.
Yeah, exactly. You're just like chaperoning everyone, making sure that they're on their best behavior.
No, but in real life,
It's funny
I'm,
that you
I'm
have
less
to do
scary
that
in real
when
life.
people are in their 30s and 40s and whatever.
50s, hello?
50s, and you still have to keep them in
60s.
check.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you
You'd
better
be
behave before I
surprised.
kick you out.
You'd be surprised. You know, when people meet me in real life, they're like, "You're so much nicer than you are on our announcement group," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Well, is there
because
another side of you that I don't know? That's like, oh, so I'm getting the good side now.
You're getting the good side.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't
But
want to
say
get.
if you were like, you know, I don't know, like a married man,
Yeah.
and saying, "Oh, can you introduce me to someone?" You would see my school principal side, and I'd give you a little scolding.
All right. So I'm gonna ask you a very important question. What's the number one thing that usually men are looking for, and what's the number one thing that women are looking for from your clients? And you have to give me a very clear, simple answer.
Men and women are looking for the same thing.
Bam. Really?
Yes.
Which is?
Well, 3 things.
You have to be super like.
Oh my gosh, I can only
specific.
choose one.
No, but you have to be super specific. Like this podcast is all about value, right? I mean, you're providing
Yeah.
value, I'm providing value, so whoever's listening to this should really, and then you're getting more customers.
Yeah, you're my next client, I think. Okay, so are you hearing that, ladies? Okay, I will have to choose between quality. Both men and
What
women.
defines quality?
Quality? Someone who is what they say they are.
Okay.
Who is at the same phase of life and like-minded and similar level in terms of career and education and values, and at the same time is not going to waste their time.
Right.
Yeah. So if it's someone who's looking to start a family, they should not be introduced to somebody who does not want children. If it's someone who's a single parent with children, they should not be introduced to someone who does not want a blended family.
So managing expectations.
And also reducing heartache.
Yeah.
Because you can get along or even fall in love with someone who is not right for you. And
Yeah.
I don't think some of that comes across when people meet each other without having this sort of personalized, curated experience. It takes a long time sometimes to reach that level, to find out so much about somebody. And people are not always forthcoming about their goals.
Yeah.
Sometimes people get alarmed, like a man will say, "Why is she asking me about my marriage goals on the first date?" He'll get scared.
Yeah.
And a woman will be like, "Why is he asking if I want to have a baby?" Like immediately, you know, he's love bombing me. And, you know, like there'll just be all these unnecessary red flags. Whereas if I already know these things about people, I can already filter that process
Yeah.
and make sure they're with people who are the right age group that they're looking for, the right sort of background that they're looking for.
You know what I feel? I feel like what really, really, really sets you apart or makes you very valuable to others is the fact that you really remove all of this burden, this small talk, this compatibility sort of like checklist that has to go. You remove it from them and you take care of it yourself. And for them, that's like a ton off their shoulders.
These are a lot of awkward questions that it's hard for people to talk about initially, especially
Right.
on a first date. You can't even talk about those things. It's
Yeah.
just awkward. So if I've done the homework for you, I've done the research for you, and then I send you on a date and you meet somebody for the first time, at least you're on the same page.
Yeah.
Whether you're attracted to each other or not is a different story,
yeah.
but you'll have a great conversation, you'll connect, and you'll know that you both have similar goals.
Yeah.
And maybe you're not aligned with each other, but maybe you are.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can't tell from photographs.
Yeah.
When you meet in real life, the energy is so
Different.
different. It's
Yeah.
so very different.
Okay, so that's number one. So we talk about quality and everything else that includes. What's number 2 and 3? For what is the number one thing or things that men and women are looking for? And you said they're the same.
Oh, you want all of them? I thought you just wanted one answer. I narrowed it down to one answer.
Well, of course, I want all of them. I need
What do
answers
you, what
to
do you
everything.
want? Tell me.
I need
I'm gonna
answers
ask
to
you
everything.
now. No, what are you looking for?
I'm not. It's my podcast.
Yes,
I'm the one asking the questions
Yeah, but
here.
you're my next client. What are you looking for?
I am not going to answer
I'm gonna get all the secrets out for you guys.
No, but really, I want to know number 2 and number 3. If there are. If there aren't, if we're just going to stick to quality.
No,
that's
it's
fine.
quality, and as I mentioned, somebody who doesn't want to take advantage of them.
Yeah. A safe person, basically.
Someone who doesn't want to take advantage of either their finances or, not looking to climb,
Yeah.
just somebody of a sound
Decent.
socio-cultural background.
Yeah.
Similar, aligned, and somebody who's not looking to just act like it's a hookup culture. I don't encourage that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
there's advantage that people can take in so many different ways.
There's there's a book that I read, and I don't know if you read it. It's called The 7 Principles of Why Marriage Work.
Okay.
Marriage Work, or whatever it is. Dr. John Gottman. And he mentions that he has a 97% prediction rate within the first 10 minutes of whether this couple is going to divorce or not based on how they interact with each other. 97%. And he's done...
that knows each other or doesn't know each other?
Know each other.
Couple?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
An actual
If
couple.
they know each other. And basically he mentions that this is something that is just so obvious to him based on like many different factors. And I wonder if you sort of can agree with that. Like, can you tell if this is like a good match when like they're just sitting with each other based on like the few times?
Well, he's talking about couples who are already together.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about people who are just
no, I'm
going
saying
to
when
meet.
you see other couples.
When I see married couples?
Yeah, like when you see married couples, you feel like, can you tell based on working with so many different people that you can tell if this is like a happy marriage or a sad, like, can you tell? Because I'm sure you've seen so much.
I think all of us can pick up on vibes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would say that couples who put a lot out there on social media to show how happy they are together, I think sometimes they're overdoing it to sort of salvage something. I think social media is not a way to go by it, but if you see them in real life, it's a better way to pick up on. And plus, you don't know, maybe sometimes someone's having a bad day. It doesn't mean that reflects their entire relationship. There's ups and downs in relationships.
Yeah.
For marriage, as someone who was married herself for 11 years, you do what you can to make it work.
Yeah.
You try and you try, especially if you've got children. You really try.
Yeah.
And you only decide to end it if you're really certain. Otherwise, most of us will fight for it to work. Yeah.
He mentions in his book that there are 6 predictors. Is a harsh startup, the 4 horsemen, flooding, body language, failed repair attempts, bad memories, and those are the 6 basically.
Oh my goodness. Well, I know that people can grow together or they can grow apart.
Yeah.
And I think, at least for my generation and the generations younger, we do want to feel happy and peaceful.
Okay.
As much as we can. At least we want to feel peace of mind.
Yeah.
And if you're in a toxic relationship, I don't think that's really going to happen. So.
Yeah, obviously. Okay, let's make it a little bit more fun right now. I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you a game of.
Hold on.
I'm gonna ask you a game of true and false.
Oh yeah, that part I don't get it.
What? I'm just gonna.
Is it about- no,
I'm
is
gonna
it
make a
about what?
statement, or you're gonna tell me if it's true or false.
Yeah, but true or false for who?
For you. It's about you. This is your podcast. Well, my podcast, but you're the guest.
About my clients? Is it about Dubai dating?
It's about who you. About what you think. Let's play the game of true or false. It's hard finding a good partner in Dubai.
False. It's hard. Okay. It's easy to find a partner. Finding a good partner is obviously going to be a little bit tougher, but that's all over the world.
So
But,
false. Just give me a clear
false.
answer.
Okay, false.
False. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, go on. You were saying something.
I think you have a better chance of meeting the right person in Dubai than most other places in the world.
Okay.
Because there's so much option, but at the same time, too many options can make you confused.
That's why you're here, to help them out.
Absolutely.
There you go. Social media is really straining relationships and expectations. I added just now.
Well, if you think that really heavily filtered people look like that in real life, you're in for a disappointment. And if you think that men or women only cheat because of social media, that's also wrong. They're going to cheat whether they own a phone or not. So to answer your question, I don't think social media is helping those things or deterring those things. I think it's completely different.
So it's true or false?
I mean, I'm a communications person.
Listen, I'm
I
an
look at the
engineer.
gray
It's
matter.
black and white. It does work or it doesn't work.
Gray. It's a gray area.
You can't give me a great answer for a true or false question. Come
Of course,
on.
I could say partially true, partially false.
No, I mean it is strange. No, it's making people more picky.
Is it? You
Of
tell
course,
me. How is it making people more picky?
because they've got so many options.
What are they real options?
Yeah, but if you're
It's
not
the
aware,
illusion.
if you're not conscious enough that the fact that they're not real options, if you're
It's the illusion of
delusioned,
options.
Yeah, if you're delusioned, then obviously you're gonna think they're real options and you're gonna go after it. So yes, it
Yeah,
is.
so it's prompting delulu behavior.
Okay.
But I mean, you have to be a little more stable to navigate these kind of things.
All right.
Depends on the person. I'm not answering this one with true or false.
Oh my God.
I want you to think about it.
It's not about me. I'm the one interviewing you, so you're the star of this episode.
I'm going to say no.
No, got the answer finally. All right, so false. Okay, women are only looking for successful men.
False. Women are looking for stable men.
Okay, stable mentally and
Overall,
career-wise.
overall stable. Women don't want a man who's going to be insecure and angry if she is more successful than him, for
Right.
example. Women are also not going to look for a man who's completely broke,
Right.
because that's just going to lead to more problems in life.
Okay.
I think women generally go for men who are at their level
Okay.
and higher. They generally don't go for men who are much lower in terms of success, financial success. I've noticed that. And I've also noticed that women are also comfortable with men who are less successful than them, but have the potential to be successful, because then they don't feel threatened by each other.
So
Do you know what I mean?
yeah, I know what you mean. So you're saying it's not really a thing, but it could be a problem if they're not.
There should be a similar standing or a comfortable difference,
Okay.
not like an entire gulf,
Yeah.
because that could lead to all kinds of when there's
So
a
so a
huge
less
disparity.
successful man or less fortunate man still has a chance based on what you've
Well,
experienced.
there's so many. Has a chance with who? Who is he
with
going
a-
for?
yeah,
Is he going
with
for
a-
a CEO? Then no.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why?
who is he aiming for?
Yeah. Let's say he's aiming for a CEO and he's just, like mid-level.
Well, if he's a decent, intelligent man, it can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
vice versa.
And did something like that happen with you, like based on your based on the experiences with your clients, or you haven't witnessed something like that
I
yet?
haven't witnessed something like that yet.
Okay.
But at the same time, I think this would also occur when there's a really big age gap.
Right.
Normally, I don't encourage an age gap of more than 12 years either way.
12
maybe
years is
15 years either
What's
way.
a good age gap for you?
Well, I think you have to sort of mentally relate to each other. So within 15 years, either way.
Okay. Either way.
Yeah, and the older you are, the less an age gap matters. The younger you are, the more it matters.
Yeah. That's good. Okay. So expectations are much higher nowadays from each partner than they were back in the day, in previous generation.
You know, it's again the illusion of choices. We feel like there's so many people out there because of all the dating apps and everything. And there are people out there. Those same people also have 1,000 choices. So when each person has 1,000 choices, it's like winning a lottery, isn't it? I would say that expectations have changed. I think that the older we get, our standards change as well. We look more at things like behavior and personality and less at really superficial things.
So is that true or false?
You know, like that whole what was it? 6'5",
Yeah.
blue-eyed guy in finance.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
I mean, I'm just like,
I mean,
I want to know. I want to
honestly,
know. You're
first of
the
all-
expert matchmaker. I
First
want
of
to
all, what is wrong with medium height?
you
I
know,
mean, I am a tall woman myself,
every
and it is
woman
a
wants
struggle
wants
to meet men taller than me.
Yeah.
Because
Wait, what's your height?
all the petite ladies have got all the really tall guys. I'm kidding, guys. It's, opposites attract. Yeah, but you know what I mean, right? Yeah. And also, why are you judging people based on what they do in life? I mean, you can be successful in any field. You don't, and you can be working in finance and have a drug problem. Like,
True.
why would you just limit yourself to blue eyes or?
But that was a joke. I
And
mean,
a guy could have a dad bod and still be a great guy, right? No, I'm started feeling bad for guys now because I don't know I've heard so many stories.
Who has it? Who has it?
I'm feeling bad for the men now.
Who
Like,
has it harder, men or women,
harder in what?
in finding another significant other, based on your?
Well, I
Experience.
mean, both.
It's equal.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because the kind of men that I deal with, they don't want to be taken advantage of. So they don't go for Barbie dolls. They don't get impressed by, you know, things that people think that the people in Dubai are like or they get impressed by. Those are tourists. Those are not residents.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not true.
Nobody here is impressed by what car you drive, how you look, because you'll see that everywhere. Like, it doesn't stand out here. We've seen it all. We don't get impressed. You know, we get impressed by actual quality and substance.
Yeah.
And it's a struggle for men and women everywhere to just connect on those levels because you have to be in a place where you can get to know each other properly to do that. Otherwise, you'll see like so many attractive people everywhere, so many successful people everywhere, but nobody has the time to sit and get to know each other because there's so many things that are happening.
Yeah.
You know, you have to attend all these meetings, you have long hours, and then you know, you're getting catfished on a dating app, or you go on a date and the person is nothing like you expected. The photo was 10 years older. It's filtered. The guy is about 5 inches shorter than he said he was, which tells you that he is not an honest man. I mean, there's all kinds of things happening.
Yeah.
Men are, you know, they swipe on women who actually then ask them for their financial information, trying to sell them Bitcoin or worse.
You've heard these stories?
I've heard so much more that I'm not going to even share on camera.
Oh my God.
I mean, there's trauma. This is collective dating app trauma.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have had long-term relationships that haven't worked out, whether it's marriage or whether it's just a long-term relationship. And, you know, there's a healing process. Go through your healing process and then try to meet people the right way through activities, socially.
Yeah.
But figure out how you can meet them where the person isn't hiding that they're married. So try to meet people who are actually legally single.
Yeah. Okay.
That's another thing. Like, you can socialize as much as you want, but you won't know who is and who isn't. Not everyone wears rings. And I think being honest about that is really important. And, you know, life happens. You'll meet someone, whether it's through me or whether it's on your own. Just say yes to the universe. It'll happen. And work on yourself.
But I'm going to ask you the question again so you can give me an answer.
Oh, whoops.
Expectations are much higher from each significant other nowadays than they were in the previous generations. True or false?
True.
I finally got that.
You got an answer.
Okay. Relationships should be 50-50. True or false?
Oh, hell yes.
Hell yes. 50-50 in everything.
True. 50-50 in effort, love, everything.
Yeah. What about finances?
You can let a guy pay for you initially, but then you should treat him as well. You should get him gifts as well. It can't just be a one-way street.
Okay.
And 50-50 doesn't mean there's no ladylike or gentlemanly behavior. You can keep that etiquette going. You can keep it romantic, but please, communication, listening, empathy, 50-50.
Good answer. So, yes. All right. A man's loyalty is tested when he has everything, and a woman's loyalty is tested when her man has nothing. True or false? False. Why?
We're all the same now. We're on the same level. Men don't want unsuccessful women either.
Yeah.
They don't. And women do not want to compromise that much in terms of who they find attractive.
Okay. And men don't want unsuccessful women nowadays.
They don't. They don't. They want.
Is it because they want someone to be on the same wavelength?
They want someone who can also be supportive and to understand what they're going through with so many
things.
With so many responsibilities.
Yeah.
Like both parties have very similar responsibilities.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's if you're making a family, if you're starting a family, or you're on different career paths, or you're entrepreneurs, you should be able to relate to each other. I mean, I don't think a man in Dubai wants to meet somebody who's just around to get her bills paid.
Yeah.
Certainly not in my community. Mm-hmm. And I don't think, and those kind of women are not in my community. They're not, I've never come across any. So the stories I've heard are all secondhand. And I think women should really focus on being financially independent and working on themselves before they get married.
Isn't that something that most men complain about, like based on your experience, that they feel like they reach a point where some of the women might prioritize work over family time, and then, you know, like not be as available as they expect them to be as a mother or a wife? Or,
you know, one can make those decisions for the family. Like if a woman wants to become a stay-at-home mom, that's fine too.
Yeah.
But those are decisions that they make together.
Okay.
And I'm sure they're all happy with whatever decisions that they go with.
Yeah.
I mean, these are things that happen in life. When you have very young children, it's not very easy to go back to work, or you take a gap, or you just stop altogether.
Yeah.
But that's work as well. Raising children is a full-time job.
Yeah.
So that varies from family to family. But I do think that starting out, at least, it's an even playing field.
Yeah. You threw out of the window so many beliefs that were like predominant in this part of the world or in this city. Like you just shed light on so many like misconceptions.
Look, there's a lot of men here.
Because and obviously I trust you more than anyone because you deal with these people on a daily basis. So you know.
Women come across men who are looking to take financial advantage of them too. It happens a lot.
Yeah.
So that is why women want someone who's relatively stable, because it's the same as men.
Yeah.
Men don't want to be taken advantage of, and neither do women.
Yeah.
And then there's women who are, you know, young and impressionable, and they can also get exploited by like father figures, to put it that way. Mm-hmm. That's a mutually transactional sort of situation, and I want no part of it. So if anybody of either category tries to be part of my community, I filter them out. Because I want it to be a place, a safe space where like-minded people can socialize and connect.
Yeah, that's good. The newer generation is becoming unreasonably picky. True or false?
Which one, Gen Z or?
Yeah.
I mean, they're young. Let them be picky. I don't mind. Yes, be picky. Have standards. Don't make excuses for somebody.
Yeah.
You have plenty of time to get a matchmaker like me when you're older.
Okay. She's marketing herself. It's all good.
I love Gen Z. I have the most respect for them.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I love Gen Z.
Most people on my podcast complain about them. I'm just telling you the truth.
I love Gen Z. I think they
Why
are
do you love
smart. They are sassy.
Yeah.
They are not afraid to voice their opinions. And they're so brave.
Good to know. All right. I'm listen, it's a democracy here. I'm listening from everyone.
And they're like quite wise beyond their years. I'm a late bloomer, so I admire that.
That's good. All right. So we're gonna play another game before we wrap this up. It's been really fun. I'm gonna ask you like specific things, specific topics, and you're gonna answer out of 10. Give me a number out of 10 of how important they are in terms of like deal breaker or
how important. Wait, do I only give a number or can I give a short explanation?
You know, number and explanation.
Okay.
Now I know how you think, so now I need to get the answer from you first, and then you can go on.
Yeah, you're not going to get a one-word answer from me.
Yeah, you know,
first,
because I'm an engineer, so I need to get a number, and then you can say whatever you want.
Ah, okay, got it.
Okay, so you have to rate it out of 10 in terms of importance. Are you with me? Do I need to send you instructions? Okay. Alcohol.
Okay, you mean a lack of or
no, just
in
alcohol overall. Lack of or how? Okay, let me tell you. Like how important
is it?
Yeah, like in terms of whether you drink it or you don't drink it. How important is it out of 10?
8.
And 8.
It's an 8 because frequent drinkers are usually a red flag. Social drinkers for my database and my clients are generally okay, but some people want people who are extremely either very healthy or very religious, and they prefer non-drinkers. And they have good reasons as
Good
well.
answer. Thank you.
Sure.
All right. Religion.
I would say 6.
6?
6.
And less than alcohol?
Yeah.
You're joking.
I swear.
No way.
Yeah.
How come?
Because a lot of people are fine with respecting another person's differences in religion as long as they don't force it down their throat.
Okay.
Like force them to believe something that they don't believe in. Most people are quite like moderate.
So you're telling me that there are people out there that find alcohol more of a deal breaker for them than religion?
There are people who prioritize health, and there are people who just don't want alcohol around. And honestly, even in my gatherings, a lot of the people don't drink. A lot of the people drink socially or minimally, and the other people will have mocktails. And you can't even tell who is who because everyone behaves so well.
Okay. All right. Next one. Smoking.
That is a 9.
9.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You are like giving me the most unexpected numbers.
Non-smokers don't want to be around smokers.
Wow.
And even smokers feel bad and they're kind of sheepish and they're like, yeah, I should quit. Like nobody really likes it. But there's a lot of people who are like vaping or shisha or occasional cigar.
That's also a 9? That's
no,
like,
I mean, it depends on a person's tolerance to
Yeah.
it. You know, it's all about tolerance. It varies from person to person, but it's a
Okay.
very important question. And when I'm asking people,
okay.
Yeah.
Nationality.
4.
4.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my people
unexpected.
are not passport hunters.
Yeah.
So they actually just care if they can relate to someone mentally,
Okay.
culturally, if they find someone appealing. It's not really about where they're from.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one would be ethnicity.
It's the same.
Same.
Yeah. I think what's more important to somebody is appeal and wavelength rather
Okay.
than DNA.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
And
Height.
remember, people, a lot of my clientele are divorced, and mostly people, their marriages or first marriages will be with people very similar to them, ethnicity-wise, and they want the opposite.
Okay. Interesting. Height.
7,
For women?
both.
Both.
Yeah. Okay, so women also wear heels.
Okay.
So there's a distinct advantage for women. Men are all different types of heights. I think that when a woman is very tall, it restricts her a little bit. So she's generally told, in general, by society, to keep her choices flexible. Like if it's a guy who's around her height, a little bit shorter, it should be fine as well. Because personality matters more. But honestly, I feel that if people look good together, sometimes there won't be much of a height difference. Sometimes there can be a big height difference. I think it's also like the vibe. So when people say like, okay, minimum height this, maximum height this, it's a little bit, it tends to be flexible. People are generally quite flexible when it comes to height because there are other considerations that are more important to them.
Okay. Interesting. Salary. I'm going to ask salary and then I'm going to ask something else. How
Salary?
important is the salary, like the amount?
I think
Because I'm sure this is something that you openly encourage people to discuss.
no, I don't actually.
You don't?
I do ask people filling out the database do
Okay.
indicate their salary range, but I make it such a wide range that I only put it there to see if they can attend the venues and it's within their price range, for example. And if I feel like it's far beyond their price range, then I don't encourage it. But it's not something I would ever divulge or ask anyone
Okay.
otherwise. Salary, I think most people are mid-level, senior level, and C-level. So
Give me a number.
of what?
Give me a number
Average?
give me a number of how important you think it might be.
6?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just
not-
reasonable. Like reasonably, it should just be reasonable in terms of being able to relate to each other and
Okay.
not a super wide gulf.
Yeah.
Because then it makes it an unbalanced relationship, I think.
So the same thing applies for like career title.
Everything, age. Yeah, no, but some people, like women will take a time out to have children sometimes and then re-enter the workforce. Some women are incredibly accomplished and
Okay.
have a higher title, and some men will have a lower title, but they'll
Yeah.
be very well educated. I
Yeah.
mean, you can't really generalize. Some people will not even be traditional professionals.
Yeah.
They'll be athletes, for
Okay.
example. So,
So, okay. All right.
yeah,
What about kids from previous relations? How
yeah.
important do you think that is out of 10?
I think for people who have kids already, whether they have custody or visitation, are they living with them full time? People will ask, okay, I'm open to meeting somebody who has children, but the children shouldn't be younger than 16. And I'll be like, why? Oh, because that makes it a little more difficult. Like they have experience with it.
Okay.
So they know. Everyone has a different answer.
Okay.
So I personalize it according to
Okay.
that person. So
Yeah.
I would say, I think in general, children, whether you have them or you want to have them, I would give it a 10.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the number one question I
Wow.
ask everyone first.
So this is the only one that you gave me a
Yes.
10 score
Yes,
out of. Wow.
because it's very important if a person wants to start a family or does not want to have children, but they're compatible on every other level, I will never introduce them to each other because they're
just no
not
way
going to
that they're
work
gonna-
out.
yeah.
No, and why would you want to kill someone's dreams
Right.
or force someone into doing something they're not ready for?
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah.
What about like ambition? How much do you feel like that's like a big factor? Like do you feel like people are specifically looking for significant others that are like ambitious and like really want to like develop and do well in their life?
I think it also depends on the age. Like I deal with people who are younger as well as older. Like I even have people who are retired and
Oh,
they're just
wow.
looking, and they're looking to like travel, have fun, chill
Nice.
out. So yeah, it's like all stages. So I would first figure out what stage of life they're in, what they're looking for. Sometimes some people are investors and they work part-time, Some people are writing a book.
Man, you've got a very wide array of
Yes.
people. They're
Yes.
just so...
Yes.
That's really good. Well, I mean, this wraps it up for me.
Great. I'll send you your information for your
I saw that coming. I saw that coming.
And you didn't answer my question. What are you looking for?
I don't know what I'm looking for. I need to. I
Oh,
mean,
you don't know
obviously
what
I
you're
do, but
looking
I'm not going
for?
to say it on screen.
Are you sure you don't want to have
I'm not going to say
a
it on screen.
confidential consult
we'll
on
talk,
camera here?
We'll talk. No, we'll talk on private. Definitely not on camera. I'm super private, even though I might seem not, because of my podcast, but not these things are. Yeah, they're just between us.
All right. Sounds good.
But thank you for coming today.
Thank you
That
very
was
much.
wonderful.
That was enjoyable.
That was a lot of fun. Should probably do more. But once we, once maybe I'm more set up, or maybe once you're more set. I don't know which one. Let's see. We'll see. Because I'm sure
I think I should interview you back.
You think?
Yeah, I think I'll do
I
that.
saw that coming. I felt like you wanted to do that.
Yeah. I enjoy that.
No, but really, thank you for coming. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you for having me. That was amazing.
Thank you.